Okay, are you ready, Mike?
Yep.
Ann, you ready? Laura, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'd like to call this meeting of Monday, December 21st to order, the regular Commissioners' meeting. Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everybody. Okay, we will open this meeting on public comment. Any subject that's not on the agenda that the Commissioner has jurisdiction over. Is there any comment? No? Okay. Let's move
No
on.
one else does zero, I do.
Okay?
This is Laura. I know I'm not a member of the public, but I am going to take a couple of minutes during public to just make a very quick statement, and Ann, I will get you a printed copy of this. I just want everyone to know that it has been an absolute honor to serve the citizens of Broadwater County for the last 12 years and almost 2 months. I am thankful for the tremendous efforts and professionalism of our county staff over those years. I know you'll continue to work hard and do great things for the people of this great community. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
All right, thank you.
We do have a couple of good mornings on here also from Wendy and Debbie Randall.
Okay, go ahead and kind of speak so
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
can hear you.
We have a couple of good mornings from Wynn Meehan and Debbie Randall,
Okay?
and then Cheryl Campbell is also watching.
Okay. All right, very good. All right, let's see. We have some mail. We'll go through that. We did receive a check for $1,200 from the Family Medical Clinic. Check for $238.63 from the Bill Fleiner Restitution. And also another check from Bill Fleiner Restitution, $719.13. We have vendor claims in the amount of $140,216.49.
I'll make a motion to pay claims in said amount.
Okay, I will second. Motion's been made and seconded to pay vendor claims in the amount of $140,216.49. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. We have payroll in the amount of $199,179.18.
I'll make a motion to pay payroll in said amount.
Is there a second?
Second the motion.
Okay, motion's been made, and, okay, thank you. Motion's been made and seconded to pay payroll amount of $199,179.18. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. We have received a letter from the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission to the Montana Department of Natural Resources for the Toston Dam. Says this letter is to acknowledge your January 16th, 2020 letter transmitting the Owner's Dam Safety Program revision for the Broadwater project. We have received the information provided and have no comments. So this will be on file in the Commissioner's office if anybody would like to take a look at that. Also have a copy of the Rural Montana magazine from our Vigilante Electric Cooperative. And also, I'd like to read a email that we received. This is pretty exciting for all of us, because I know a lot of us have been working on this project, and it is from the Montana Department of Transportation. Would like to announce and invite the public to comment on a proposal to rehabilitate, reconstruct, and widen about 5 miles of U.S. Highway 12-287 from the Silos turnoff to approximately 1 mile north of the Missouri River Bridge between Winston and Townsend. The proposed work includes widening the existing roadway to create 4 lanes of roadway with a center turn lane for the majority of the project. Construction will be dependent on completion of the design schedule and availability. They included in this letter, says the Montana Department of Transportation welcomes the public to provide ideas and comments on the proposed project. Comments may be submitted online, and they have the MDOT website and a place where you can write as well. And this is on our website. You can get that information there, or you can call us. We'd be happy to share that with you. And I would encourage everybody to comment. And I think the more people that we have involved in this may help this project move along quicker. Anyway, it's something that's been badly needed, and we're excited to see that we moved up the list and that something's happening. So there we go. We have the minutes from November 30th and December 7th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from December 30th and December 7th, November 30th.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded to approve the minutes from November 30th and December 7th. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries.
We did have a comment again also.
Pardon me?
When Meehan has asked, will Daryl please email the info on that, on the
The Department of Transportation.
ES?
Yes, I'll definitely do that.
I don't know if you want to get interrupted for that.
Okay. Okay. I guess with that, we will, we got 5 minutes to wait for our public hearing, so I guess we better do that. That's when it was scheduled for.
Was the junk vehicle contract up there?
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. Thank you, Debbie. You're reading the agenda better than I am.
I just remember when we walked out the door, Mike was asking.
And I guess that's the reason I put it in there that way. So, all right. Thank you. We do. Okay. So we next on our agenda is the decision for the motor vehicle recycling and disposal grant, and this is a grant that we received for the junk vehicle program, and we have recently purchased a new junk vehicle recovery trailer. But this particular grant is for the operations and ongoing maintenance of that program, and the amount is $14,690.20. And any funds that are not used throughout the year in this program go into the CIP for that program.
That's how we're able to purchase things like the trailer, the
Yep.
haul vehicles, and
Right.
other things to help us with that program.
All right. Any
I'll make a
discussion?
motion to approve the junk vehicle program contract for the grant.
Okay.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded to approve the motor vehicle recycling and disposal grant for $14,690.20. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, Tim Ravendall, Conservative News from Montana. Just real quick, just for clarification, the 14,000 is covered the trailer that was just purchased, correct?
I think we actually had money in the CIP.
Or is that a different program?
Well, it's all
Hard to
the
keep up.
program,
Yeah.
but every year we get about that amount of money, and what it does is it pays for ads, it helps pay for Michelle to administer it when people come in asking questions, filling out paperwork, so we can go get it. We've had enough money tucked away in the CIP, that helped pay for the trailer and the winch and stuff to get them up there.
Right.
So this is
Yeah.
our yearly grant that helps pay the wages and administrative costs, reports, things that go to the state.
Okay. And Mr. Chair, just a quick follow-up. Is the disposal of the junk vehicles, if you will, in Broadwater County, they go to the transfer station and then through the recycling program, correct?
That's correct.
And, okay, and so then, on that recycling program for that metal, basically, is that just basically does that fund go back into the enterprise fund of that, or does it go to the general fund, or does it go into?
That's a good question.
Just trying to keep track of everything.
That's a good question, Tim. I really don't know the answer to that, but I think I don't know what really's been done in the past. Debbie, do you recall?
Well, I think the state comes and gets it after we have a bunch of stuff up there,
Yeah.
and they come and crush it.
Right, and I don't know
And
if
then they
we,
take and dispose of it.
I don't think we
through-
get anything, do we? From the,
No, not through the junk vehicle.
I don't
Other than
think
it pays for us to administer it,
Right.
collect them, and they recycle. But
Yeah.
it doesn't happen but like maybe once every 5 years. They have to get a pretty big pile to come in and crush. So they sit
Yeah.
up there a while.
I'm kind of trying to, since I've been here, Tim, I don't recall us ever receiving any type of payment for that, but
No, it just goes
if
back
there's
into the
something
program
different, yeah,
And recycles through that way.
sure. If it's something different, I'll let you know. I'll kind of check
Thank
it
you
out.
so much.
Yeah, you bet. Okay, any more discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye,
I,
Mo- and the motion carries. All right, good. All right, we'll move on to our next agenda item, which is the public hearing to adopt the resolution authorizing final budget amendments. So I'll go ahead and close this regular commissioners meeting and open the public hearing. And our finance officer, Debbie Kelly, will present.
Good morning.
Good morning, Debbie.
Morning.
This should be our last one for fiscal year 1920. Auditors with not being able to travel and restrictions with COVID, it's taking a little longer to close this year because there's a lot more email, phone calls, trying to verify than just look at it and get it done. So for this amendment resolution, whereas section 7-6, 4006, parentheses 4, MCA states the governing body may amend the budget during the fiscal year by conducting public hearings at regularly scheduled meetings. Budget amendments providing for additional appropriations must identify the fund reserves, unanticipated revenue, or previously unbudgeted revenues that will fund the appropriations. Whereas Section 764,005 MCA states in part, local government officials may not make a disbursement or an expenditure or incur an obligation in excess of the total appropriations for a fund. Whereas under the guidance of Denning and Downing Incorporated, County Auditor, closing entries such as pension expense, accrued payroll, compensated absence, and depreciation expense caused some funds to exceed spending or budget authority. Due to these entries, the 2019-20 fiscal year expenditure line items needed to be revised accordingly. Now, therefore, it is hereby resolved that Broadwater County is making the following required expenditure and revenue budget amendments effective for fiscal year end June 30th, 2020.
Okay. I think this has been, it's been posted in the courthouse, it's been posted online. And we did have a discussion on this earlier and have a good understanding the reason for some of these changes.
Yeah, they're, the accrued payroll expense, for those who don't understand, technically the year ends June 30th, but for payroll purposes, the period of payroll starts June 24th and goes through July 8th and isn't paid until July. So what we have to do is adjust what we've already paid from June 24th to June 30th and back it out of July and post it to June. Then reverse it and we put it back in July. So what this effectively does is while we aren't over budget, it is a paperwork error to meet the date specified for the fiscal year.
Right.
So in some of those instances, it did throw particularly 1920 fiscal year off a little bit because we kind of borrowed from the previous year and put it back in just to hit the paperwork.
Right.
So that's what those are for.
Okay.
And then the pension expense is something new with GASB 85, that with our PERS and our SRS retirements, the state, we're having to account kind of the same thing for some of those expenses, which with the entries are hitting our budget, which is our expenditure and our revenues versus our assets and liability side of the books. So that affects our budget revenues or spending versus just the liabilities, like somebody leaves and I pay it out. That doesn't affect, it affects my budget, but it doesn't affect everybody. So that's what some of these are hitting the books for. I'll probably be trying to make some of those line items next year in our budget so that it doesn't, a little cleaner entries
Sure.
since that GASB came out.
Okay.
So in case that's what, and depreciation. There again, it's hitting more our revenue and expenditure side versus our liabilities and assets. Depends on who does the entries and who does the bookwork. I've seen it both sides. So this year they had it hit
Sure. Sure.
the budget. So that's most of these payroll entries.
Okay. And I know on some of these, it comes down to when revenues are received
Yes.
and, maybe they haven't been received yet through the tax rolls, but the expenditure's made and waiting on the revenues.
Right.
too.
So or revenues, the expenditures hit 1920, but we
Right.
didn't get revenue till 2021. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a housekeeping. It's already expended, but it's got to be put on paper and officially noted
Right.
because it wasn't before.
Okay. Good. You guys have any other questions?
I don't have anything, no.
There's a question online.
Okay.
Let's see, Cheryl Campbell says, when will the final audit report for 2019-2020 be available for the public to review?
The annual report is due December 30th, but the audit itself, they have till March to get that done.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I'm working on the annual report this week, so we can have it filed on time. And we don't get an extension because we've got enough federal monies that it has to be done by March. We don't get the extension till June to do the audits.
Sure. Okay. Any other questions, you guys?
No.
Okay, I guess I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Close the public hearing to adopt the resolution authorizing final budget amendments and open up our regular commission meeting for the decision to adopt that resolution. Is there any discussion? Do you have anything, Mike?
No.
Laura, do you have anything? Okay. Is there a motion to adopt this resolution?
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution authorizing the final budget amendments.
Okay, I will second that motion. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the, authorize the final, the resolution for end of year budget amendments. Is there any public discussion? Any discussion? Anything online?
No?
No? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And the motion carries.
Thank you.
All right. And so you're going to stay up here for this next one too, Deb?
I do.
Might as well.
Okay.
I'm not going to let you get too far away.
Okay.
And, okay, next on the agenda is the resolution establishing Fund 2990 for the CARES Act revenue transactions. And go ahead and give us a little background on that, will you please?
This is some new funding changes that came about this year as the result of the COVID pandemic. And it became a recommendation through local government services that we have basically one fund to report all the revenues, expenditures that we get for this. The federal on up, they really haven't created a specific guidelines for all the tracking and reporting, so we're trying, this has come about to make it easier once they make the decision for it. It was assigned a CFDA number, which makes it a grant. There are a lot of counties that disagree that it's grant, that it's just a one-time special revenue to help offset the costs. So there's some debates going on around how to track for this. So the fund is there to allow us to leave it where it's at and kind of give us the discretion to spend it for COVID-related expenses moving in the future, not knowing what's going on until we have better guidelines. We know some of our funds were hit harder than others. So it was suggested we set this up so that it kind of protects us in the event that because it is treated as a grant, they come back and want to create a finding. Then we have some grit to say we kind of knew this, but we'll take the finding, or we'll fix it and then we won't have one next year. And that way it kind of unrestricts, it's unrestricted funds at this point. So, and it's at the commissioner's discretion moving forward. So it was set up just to kind of protect us a little bit moving forward.
Good. I know there was a lot of discussion on this, and there was some discussion at our last MACO conference on it, and you know, this is the guidance that we received at this point, so we're following through. I think at this point I'll go ahead and read the resolution.
Yeah, I didn't bring a copy.
It's for the FY 2019-2020 CARES Act Coronavirus Relief Fund. Whereas the Department of Treasury of the Inspector General has authorized money to be dispersed nationwide to help the nation recuperate certain costs associated with the coronavirus pandemic. The CARES Act will be designated to disperse and monitor related costs. Whereas Montana Department of Administration revises the BAR's chart of accounts for the purpose of reporting and tracking revenues in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now therefore it be resolved that Broadwater County has assigned Fund 2990 from the bar's chart of accounts as CARES Act reimbursement fund and accounts 334990 and 334999 for revenues received from the state of Montana for COVID-19. This is to ensure the proper accounting, monitoring, and record-keeping requirements under the CARES Act. Whereas Broadwater County Commissioners considers CARES Act revenue received through the local government reimbursement program as a special one-time revenue. Now therefore it is hereby resolved that the Broadwater County Board of Commissioners will approve expenditures from said Fund 2990 at their discretion. Is there any discussion?
No.
So there is a comment online.
Okay.
Also. Cheryl Campbell says at some point in the past, there was an approval for a program that allowed citizens to review county finance records online. Is that available now? How do we access that?
Okay. Yeah, you're right, Cheryl, that was approved, and it's not quite available yet. We are waiting on our website to be finished, which we said we got a date of towards the end of January, right, Nicole? So once that site is up and going, there will be a link there it's called Public View, and the public will be able to go into there and check all the accounting. So, yeah, it's still coming. All right. Is there a motion to adopt this resolution?
I will make a motion to adopt a resolution establishing the Fund 2990 for the CARES Act revenue transactions.
Is there a second? I will second that motion. Motion's been made and seconded to adopt the resolution establishing Fund 2990 for the CARES Act revenue transactions. Is there any discussion? Tim? Go ahead and sit down, Deb, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a real quick, just a clarification. Tim with Conservative News from Montana. The CARES Act funding program that started back in the fiscal year 2019, the payments made into the county, that was asked earlier about the audit, and of course, I guess for clarification, you're creating this new Fund 2990 to keep that funding separate from the rest of the budget of the county. How much money, do you have any figures on this resolution where you're putting that funding in there, and any sunset or any, I guess you could say sideboards on that account that are not normal, because this is a one-time funding so far?
Yep.
Just for clarification, sir.
Yep. Yeah, so it is a one-time funding at this point. I mean, we watch the news and the federal government's talking about extending that. We don't know that for sure. But as of right now, I think reimbursements are, the last time we can submit for reimbursement is December 30th. Is that correct, Debbie?
At this point, that's what we've been told.
At
Yep.
this point. So that's all we know right now. That may change after the first of the year. After Congress gets done with this new package, we don't know.
Okay.
Okay?
And one final comment, just as far as our commission meeting today and in the past, I don't want to get into an argument or a fight, but I just must say, it's really hard to hear you guys with your mouths covered. And so my hearing isn't real good in the first place. And so if you would all please speak louder, and of course the phone is equally important to make sure that we can hear those voices.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Okay. Is there any more public discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, next on our agenda, it'll be Nicole Brown, our Community Development and Planning Director, and it's to create an agricultural tract and describe a divorce tract for the Crow Creek Valley Hay and Cattle Company.
Good morning.
Good morning, Nicole.
Do you have your documents in front of you?
We do, I do
Okay.
anyway.
Perfect. Super. Do you want a large copy?
I don't think,
Or if you're good there?
oh, we're good.
All right, so I'm here today to request your approval on the use of an exemption to create a divorced tract and an agricultural tract. So they are doing a two-part, or they're using two separate exemptions on this one survey, which is allowable. So what you have in front of you, you'll see a tract A, tract B, and tract C. This was originally one parcel. It is being divorced by Highway 285. And then an agricultural tract is being created. So the agricultural tract being created is actually tract C. So if the owners of this property should ever choose to build a home site or anything, to use this land for anything other than agricultural purposes, I should say, they would have to go through the subdivision review process. Tract B, you'll notice on there, has sanitary restrictions in place. So should they ever decide to construct or to build any residential facility or any facilities requiring water and sewer, they will have to go through DEQ. Okay. Tract A does not have any restrictions or exemptions on it. And as you can see also by their affidavit, the purpose of the basis for the exemption request is to describe a tract of land divorced by State Highway 285 and to create an agricultural tract. This has gone through review by our examining land surveyor and our COS, Certificate of Survey Review Committee, with no comments, questions, anything so far.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I see that Sean, our sanitarian, has looked at this as well,
That is correct.
and I see his comments here. Okay. All right. And I do see, it looks like there is a access up in the, what would be the northwest corner for tract C.
That is correct, yes. Should they choose to use the access off of 285, they would have to apply to the state for an approach permit.
Mm-hmm.
But they also have access to Old Woman's Grave Road in the, northwest corner. And the same goes for tract B. They would have access via either direction. They would need to apply for the appropriate approach permits from the appropriate agency.
Okay. All right, I guess I don't have any other questions.
I don't have
Do you
any
have
questions,
any,
no.
Mike? No?
No, I don't have any.
Okay. Laura, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. Anything you'd like to add, Bernadette?
No.
Okay, okay. All right, very good. All right. I don't have any additional questions either, so. Is there a motion to,
I will make a motion to approve the creation of the agriculture tract and describe it as a divorce tract for Crow Creek Valley Hay and Cattle Company.
okay,
I'll second.
okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve the creation of the agricultural tract and describe divorce tract for Crow Creek Valley Hay and Cattle Company. Any public discussion? Okay.
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, just for clarification, for those that don't be totally familiar with our county and where this is at,
Oh.
where is this located? Thank you.
Okay, this is located up by Raidersburg.
That is correct. It's on Highway 285 on the way to Raiders.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? All right, I guess, hearing no other discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
and the motion carries.
And I will leave you that affidavit if you would leave it on the table
Okay,
in your office for Laura to sign when she comes in, and
Okay.
then that way I'll collect it from there.
thank
Perfect.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Nicole.
Thank you. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you and Merry Christmas, everyone.
Thank you
Thanks,
to,
Bernadette.
see Bernadette.
Merry Christmas, Bernadette.
So adorable. It's kind of nice to yeah. I'm really good. Really good. Yeah.
Okay, next on the agenda was to approve a contract with Meadowlark Search for digital archiving of county records. We have sent this to Corey. He feels that we still need to work on the agreement a little bit more, and he's brought up some good points. So what we would like to do today is to approve that expenditure so that when we do get the contract created, that we can go ahead and move forward with that. Just kind of for everybody's information, what we've been trying to do for a while is to get all of our county records digitized. And there's a lot of good reasons for doing that. One is it would make it available to the public without having to come into the courthouse. It'd be available to all of our employees for times when we have to work from home, which we've experienced here lately. And another couple good reasons are, once those records are digitally recorded, we'll have that record. And if there was ever a natural disaster in our courthouse, a fire, earthquake, or something like that, we will not lose those records. So I think it's an important thing for us to do. The only challenge we've run into is a lot of other counties think it's the thing to do as well. And there's been a long waiting list to get this done. We've been trying for 6 months to do this. It looks like now we have the opportunity to get this done possibly in February of next year. He'll be able to start. The advantage that we see with Meadowlark Search is that they can bring their machine here to our courthouse and scan those documents. With some of the other contractors we talked with, those documents had to be transported to Billings or another facility, and we're just not comfortable with our records leaving the courthouse and taking the chance of something like that happening. So we really like the way they do things, and I guess that's really kind of all I have on that. Mike, can you think anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Laura, did you have anything?
No.
Okay. And I guess just for everybody's benefit, we did contact a couple different contractors, and this was the one that we felt was probably served Broadwater County's needs the best. So, is there a motion to approve this cost? I guess this.
I'll make a motion to approve the expenditure for the Meadowlark digital archiving of county records upon the presentation of the actual legal document.
Okay. Was that a second?
I couldn't hear.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, okay. I will second the motion, and I think it's important everybody knows that we're just doing a motion on the expenditure itself, not the contract. If for some reason that we can't come to agreement on a contract that works with us, then that expenditure won't be made, and we'll figure something else out. Okay, is there any public discussion?
Thank you, Chair. Tim Ravendall, Conservative News from Montana. Just really, again, clarification. Understand you're in the process of contracting with Meadowlark to do the digital transformation in the courthouse, which is great. I know that a lot of people agree that we don't want those records lost because we've been through that in Broadwater County since the changing of counties from Mark County and Jefferson County, et cetera, over the years. And a lot of those documents have been kind of hard to find. Being in the dungeon, if you will, at the courthouse, there's a lot of records there that are historic that need to be preserved. So my question on behalf of the citizens and our followers is, with this process going forward, understanding that the contract will be brought forward in a future meeting, February-ish, I think you mentioned somewhere in that neighborhood, do we have this going out for bids at that point in time, or has it already been a process that's been taken care of and followed prior to this decision on looking at Meadowlark?
Right.
Again, it's just for clarification. And then is there any follow-up on that? Is there any estimated time at this point to go through and complete that digitizing of those records prior to, or I should say, in the long term?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, that, the process of going out for bids for other contractors has taken place. We only received one from DIS Technologies, and they're in the same situation as everybody else. There's too much demand for the service, and we couldn't get nothing done this year, so the earliest that we can get done would be in February. And the thing that we discussed with DIS is those records had to be transported to Billings and back, and we were not comfortable with that. And also the quote that we received from DIS was not a quote that would complete the project. It was ongoing. It was one to just get us started. And to your question on when this could be completed, he estimated it would be 2 to 3 months to get all those documents done. And actually, in talking with some of our other elected officials, we realized that there may be some other court records and things that could be done, and that would have to be a different contract, obviously, but we have a lot of those records up in district court. Corey has some in his office that probably should be digitally scanned as well. So I think this might be an ongoing project into the future.
The door is open.
The door is open, yeah. And another thing that I forgot to mention, the other advantage of using this Meadowlark search was they use our existing DocuPro system, which all of our records go into now. So all of our commissioner minutes and things that Ann has done within the past, I want to say, is it 12 years? Does that sound about right?
Yeah,
all of those records have already been digitized. So it's just a matter of him importing them in and get them indexed. So that's a big advantage for us. All right. Any other discussion?
There's Cheryl Campbell also says, when the records are eventually digitally recorded, are there going to be fees required for the citizens to find and or review the records?
There may be some fees. We haven't decided that yet. We're working with some other companies to decide how. We have to create a portal that will be accessible through like our website, and we need to find out how that works. We haven't completed that portion of it yet. So
Thank you.
yeah, but I would say there might be a fee involved in that for certain documents. Anyway, okay. Any other discussion? No? All right. Hearing none, all those in favor of this expenditure, waiting up on the contract to be developed, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Motion carries.
Wait a minute, I didn't ask for opposition.
Okay.
I voted no. My vote is no.
Okay,
And the reason is I think that the expenditure should be approved after
Excuse me.
the
Can you turn that
contract.
up?
I think this is preliminary and premature.
okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay. We will keep you posted on how this goes. And hopefully we'll have something shortly after the first of the year. All right. Okay, next on our agenda is the contract with attorney Steve Wade to develop the Silos Recreation Area. Manager's contract. This contract has been reviewed by our county attorney, Corey Swanson, and he is okay with us to proceed. And this contract is separate from the RFP process that we are currently engaged in, and will be for whoever the successful applicant will be for that process. Excuse me. Do you have anything, Mike?
No,
Lori, do you have anything?
No.
Okay. All right. Is there a motion?
I will make the motion to approve and sign the attorney-client contract for the Silos Recreation Area Management Contract.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded to sign the contract with attorney Steve Wade to develop
No,
this.
it hasn't, Daryl. No, it hasn't. But I would be more than happy to second the motion.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded to sign the attorney contract with Steve Wade to develop the Silos Recreation Area Management Contract. Any public discussion?
Mr. Chairman, Tim with Conservative News from Montana. What is just for helping people understand what, as this process goes forward, how much is this contract for? And just a brief summary of it.
Sure.
From what you said. Thank you.
Okay. So the scope and duties, the client hires attorney to provide legal services in connection with the new vendor agreement for the management of the Silos Recreation Area. Attorney shall provide legal services reasonable required to represent client and shall take reasonable steps for the client to keep the client informed of the progress to respond to the client's inquiries. Client agrees to be truthful to the attorney and cooperate with the attorney to keep the attorney informed of developments. Abide by this contract, pay attorney's bills on time, and keep the attorney advised of the client's address, telephone number, and whereabouts. So the legal fees, $250 an hour if we use partner services, $190 an hour for associates, and $100 for paralegals. There are other costs and expenses for, phone calls, mileage, copying, things like that. Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Any other public discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of signing the attorney contract with Steve Wade signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. I'm going to re-sign this. I put the date in the wrong place, Ann, so I'll,
You just want to use this one?
do you have the other? Yeah. All right. I'll throw that one away, Mike, then if you want me to. Okay. Next is to open the silos manager RFQ packets. This first one is from Gallatin Canyon Campgrounds. And it looks like there are 6 copies. Okay. Next one is from, was submitted by Debbie Blang and Sharon Walker. It looks like they had included 10 copies.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, what was the first name? Debbie?
Debbie Blag, B-L-A-G-G.
Thank you.
Okay. So it's been requested that we'll make some copies of this and send out to our selection committee here right after this meeting. And so everybody knows we are meeting at 1 p.m. With our selection committee to discuss the RFQ process. And I guess that's it for that. You have a question, Tim?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Tim Ravenel, Conservative News. Just for clarification, how many members are on the selection committee, and do you have a list of who's on that? Just because I have not personally been able to know for sure where that's at, and if you could give me that, that would be awesome.
Okay. I'll have to kind of do it from memory. It's going to be the commissioners, our engineer, Nicole Brown, Josh Obert, Mike Meyer.
Yep.
I believe that's it. And I'm sorry, Al Christofferson,
Oh, okay.
member of the public. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
And that's at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Yep.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you have anything else, Mike?
No, I don't.
Laura, do you have anything else?
No.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody's noticed, but another long-time project that got completed last week was finally getting the directional sign for the Silos Recreation Area.
Oh, great.
It's on Highway 287, pointing people going either north or south to the SRA. This has been a long time coming. They've had the sign, just weren't able, I think, to get the permit to put it up.
Okay.
So it is something we've been pursuing for a long time. and we have it up, so another reason to celebrate.
All right, good, thanks for that. I know that has been a long time coming, so.
Sir,
Okay.
Cheryl Campbell also has a question.
Mhm.
Will the 1 o'clock meeting be on YouTube also?
We're not planning, it's a working meeting,
Okay.
so, but it'll be open to the public, we'll be here, people are welcome to come to the meeting.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah. I guess, just for everybody's information, right now, we're not planning to have a meeting for next Monday, December 28th. I know that I'm planning to take some time off. I think Commissioner Delger is as well. Spend some time with our families. And I guess with that, we'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Okay, if there's nothing else, we'll adjourn.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
What?
Merry Christmas to you.
Yes, thank you very much. Oh,